It's time for another installment of Wrestling in the Basement. What's going down?
Oh my
Thor and Brian back with a very rare, very rare Wrestling in the Basement. And even more rare, it's live.
But
But
he did not tell me about the new intro, by the way. That was a surprise for you guys and me. So
did you like the new intro?
I don't know how I feel about the new
Well,
intro.
it was what it was for the time being. Someone make me a better intro and send it to me. I'll be happy to use it.
Just do that work for us.
Just do that work, son. So I watched NXT War Games
Mm-hmm.
kind of last night, kind of
Kinda.
this morning, kind of during the pre-show of Survivor Series. You didn't watch any of it, but you did see part of Survivor Series.
The back half, most of it.
When did you come in at?
Oh.
Was it the men's Survivor Series
What
match?
was before that?
The Bar versus Authors of Pain.
I was there for that match. I don't remember any part of it. I think we were playing Candy.
Okay, so real quick, let's talk about Survivor Series, and then I'll finish talking about NXT Takeover War Games 2, because that was the better of the two shows, and I don't even think it's really close at this point. So start the night off. Now, here's the weird thing. So on the pre-show, and I didn't watch this, but you didn't watch it either, but it's not a big deal, but I know who won. They had the tag team Survivor Series match, right?
Mhm.
So 5 tag teams against 5 tag teams, Raw versus SmackDown. And that was the first match, technically, of the night of the brand supremacy, right? But it didn't count for the whole night
Right.
because SmackDown won, and we'll get to the final score at the end here, but I'll just say that wasn't on there for their score, like for SmackDown score.
Right.
But the Usos, I think, were the final team standing. I didn't watch it. I heard it was all right. Whatever. We'll move on. So we get to the main card. It starts off with the women's Survivor Series match. I was like, ooh, the women's Survivor Series match right off the bat. But after seeing the whole thing play out, I totally understand why they did that there. That one was decent. It had some good spots. I think Mandy Rose had a good showing in that match. Alexa Bliss was the captain. She definitely got involved a couple different times. The Raw women won. Nia Jax pretty much won.
Yeah.
Which Nia Jax got huge heat for breaking Becky Lynch's nose. She was getting huge heat when she came out. I think Tamina got eliminated first. Like I said, I'm not going to break down every single thing that happened in these matches. We haven't got that kind of time. We're busy men here. But we'll kind of just give you kind of a rough, here's what happened, here's who won, here's what we thought about it at least. I thought it was a good match. Like I said, it was before you got here, so
Right.
you can't really talk too much about it. But I thought it was a good match. I didn't think it was anything crazy. Nia Jax ended up cleaning house and winning for Team Raw.
Right.
So they're making her look really strong. So they're starting to build her in like a heel, and she's getting good heel heat. So maybe a happy accident, but we'll see if she has many more. Because part of what
Right.
people don't like about her is she's been hurting people in
Yeah.
the ring. Blah, 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 blah. We're not going to go into all that. So second match of the night, Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Champion versus champion match. No belts
Really
are on the line.
disappointed I missed this one.
And you should be, because it was a phenomenal match. It was... it was almost match of the night for me. It was almost match of the night. We'll get to what my match of the night was later, but it was almost match of the night. It was very good. A lot of false finishes. Everyone got to hit their stuff. Both men looked very strong. It was booked very well. They had time to work.
Right.
Because it didn't seem like the women's Survivor Series match went on too long. It actually felt like perfectly timed. I think maybe could have given a little bit more time to develop some of it slightly more, but they got done what they wanted to get done in
Right.
the time that they had. So Shinsuke and Seth got to go. Seth picks up the W. Raw's up 2-0 at this point. And remember, the Usos won on the pre-show. So it's 2-1. Whatever. So 2-0. And then we go into the match after that was Bar versus the Authors of Pain. So Authors of Pain are now the Raw Tag Team Champions, and the Bar is the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And the Authors of Pain won. It was an all right match.
Yeah, I was gonna say the little bit I watched didn't catch me.
I was playing with little man at that point, and I think that was just about the time the Vikings game was just about starting. We won't talk about that. But so I didn't really catch a ton of that one. I think that was about the time you showed up, which was always a big hubbub once your presence.
I arrived.
Yes, your arrival upon the scene is always a big deal because you're such a big deal. Clearly, look at you. But yeah, so you came in for the tail end of that match. The Authors of Pain won. They hit a sweet double move. Drake Maverick. Is that his name? No, it might be his name. I think I was right. He came in, distracted him, something with the Big Show, something. Authors of Pain hit a double move. 1, 2, 3, done.
Boom.
Done. Buried the bar in the backyard like a dog with a bone. Then came Charlotte versus Ronda.
Was it?
It had to have been.
I think you're right.
It had to have been because then it was Charlotte versus Ronda, men's Survivor Series match, WWE champion versus Universal champion, and oh no, it was cruiserweights.
Yeah.
It was the cruiserweight match. Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali.
Yeah. I remember trying to focus in at this point.
Yes, because that was a very good match. I am very happy that the tag teams got relegated to the pre-show and they put the Cruiserweight Championship match on the main show. I think that was a smart move. I think it was wise. I think they had a great showing, so it kind of paid off. But no, it worked perfectly. What you like that match?
I mean, it was pretty solid, yeah. Like
what were we playing?
Was,
were we playing Candyland during that match? We were still
Yeah.
playing Candyland. We played a lot of Candyland during Survivor Series / the Vikings
It was still
game.
a good match, though.
It was still a good match.
We just couldn't give it the attention it deserved.
Right. 4-year-olds sometimes don't allow for your, anything less than your undivided attention, especially when you're playing the Candyland,
because it gets dang ice cream cone.
Oh yeah, you pull the ice cream cone, it can all. Okay, well, I digress. Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy retains, so it's still 2-0/2-1 in favor of Raw because the cruiserweights don't count because they're their own thing. And they went out of their way to say that this doesn't count for brand supremacy. It's just for a championship belt,
Right.
which really you should never need more than that for motivation, and even you don't even need that sometimes for motivation. Whatever. Then we went into the women's match.
Yeah. And this one was really solid.
Okay, the Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. Wow.
Probably better than it deserves to be.
Shocked that they let him do. They let him do the things they let him do. I mean, Charlotte looked strong.
Super strong.
Ronda looked vulnerable. Like, she looked beatable.
Right.
She looked beatable. Like, if she doesn't win quick and she has to go, like, the longer that match went, the more beatable she looked. And and that was purely by design. Purely by design.
Well, and they mentioned it somewhere in the beginning,
but
I think.
let's just fast forward because the match is quality. Go watch it if you didn't watch it. But if you watch it, you know it's quality, so I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. Let's talk about what the hell happened after the match. When Charlotte pulls, not even after the match, how the match ended and then the aftermath. So Charlotte pulls out a kendo stick, which you're like, whoa, and then just starts beating the crap out of Ronda Rousey with that kendo stick.
Well, and
like,
she had
vicious shots
cut open
during the match,
so she's already bleeding all over the place
from her mouth, which they had some time because the match itself wasn't short,
right?
And the aftermath segment sure as heck wasn't short. So yeah, it was just blow after blow with the kendo stick, and Ronda kept rolling over and taking him on the legs, like on the shin, which I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. But I don't know that she'd ever been hit with a kendo stick before.
Right.
And even the kendo sticks that they use that aren't like a full legit kendo stick still hurt and leave welts like crazy. And you could see she had a bunch of welts because she was rolling around just getting smoked with that thing. So Charlotte throws her back in the ring and then keeps beating her with the kendo stick more.
And then gets the chair.
Then gets a chair. And a bunch of refs come out and like stop her. But then she like acts like she's gonna leave, runs back in, and hits Ronda with a natural selection face first onto the chair, then proceeds to put her neck in the chair, and then
it was just getting wild.
Dude, it was getting
like
super
time to
violent.
shield some.
Yeah, we had covered Child's eyes, and then it was like jaw dropping. I was shocked. I mean,
I didn't think it was gonna get that crazy.
Willing to see Charlotte
just
lose it, and she didn't. I wouldn't say she like turned heel. She was just like, because she was like, I'm the baddest on the planet, and she was like, it was crazy. Like, I didn't expect that. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
And you know, things that surprised me throughout the night, Becky Lynch like not showing up at all.
I guess,
which I think was by design.
Didn't she like get a concussion?
But she had a concussion, but she could have come out and been by ringside. You know, there were a lot of things they could have done with her if they wanted to. So no showing her, but Dean Ambrose, not interfering in the Shinsuke Seth Rollins match, I thought was great. I kind of wish Seth Rollins would have lost, but we'll get to that later. So Ronda gets the victory via disqualification. Yeah. So it's 4-0 right now if you're keeping score for Raw, or 4-1 if you watched the pre-show and you saw the Usos and Team SmackDown beat Team Raw in the tag team Survivor Series match, but that doesn't count on the main show. I guess once the main show starts, nothing else that's happened before matters at that point. So then we have the men's Survivor Series match, which
this match was goofy.
Great spots though.
Yeah,
great spots. So they took out Braun Strowman early. Shane O'Mac hits Braun Strowman with jump from the corner to through the table.
Right,
takes him out. Then he does a coast to coast to somebody. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 takes them out. Dolph Ziggler, I think.
Maybe.
And then Finn Balor, I want to say maybe is one of them too. Then goes to do like another coast to coast. No, it was Dolph. He took out Dolph with the coast to coast. Then he was about to hit another coast to coast and got blasted by Strowman, which 10 minutes had transpired between what we just said and
it was
the other thing.
It was funny watching Shane like literally go from
the best wrestler in the world
to freaking coast to coast, and then they're like, okay, come on, do another one, and he's like barely hanging in there because it's like
because he's an old ass man, but he's the best wrestler on the planet. So best in the world. I mean, you know.
He was good. He did a good job tonight.
It was awful, but then Braun got in and pretty much like wrecked house. Like Drew was left, Lashley was left, so everyone was left strong. But then Braun got in and just beat everybody. He beat Mysterio. He beat Miz, Shane O'Mac, the best wrestler on the planet, and somebody else, I think. Or no, or did he just take out those three?
I think just
those were the only three. No, Jeff Hardy. No, he had already been pinned. He had already been pinned. So then all of a sudden it's final match of the night, which seemed to come really fast, but not at the same time.
No, it came fast.
It did? Okay.
Well, I thought didn't we have like an hour left?
Yeah, it was like 9 o'clock. It was like 9.
I was like, dude, usually these things go over, and this thing's about to end like 45 minutes early, considering how Brock usually wrestles.
And even all the video packages for Brock and Daniel Bryan ended up pretty much, taking about 10 minutes.
Yeah, they weren't
long.
So
by the time they got into the ring, it was 9:20-ish, 9:15-ish. And then it was just the most boring first 10 minutes of that match. It was just Brock dominating Daniel Bryan. It was just
really complain
suplexes.
Considering everybody gets so excited? This is what Brock always does, and everyone's always super excited when all he's doing is laying somebody out. It's
That's
like
true.
suplex. But for whatever reason, the crowd was probably Daniel Bryan is the reason, but they were completely against it. You could just tell they were bored.
People have finally kind of turned on Brock, I think, too. They don't like the part-timer thing. They don't like the,
he's boring.
He just
I mean, he can be good depending if he's against an opponent that kind of highlights.
Yep.
Like, as much as everyone complains about Roman Reigns and, like, they don't, want him to be amazing or whatever, and he's Superman, whatever, he does a good job of highlighting how strong Brock is.
Yeah.
Without making him boring. And this isn't a great example of, and I'm like the phrase you keep using, by design, but this is a great example of a wrestler who's not highlighting him. That's not making it fun to watch him wipe somebody apart. You know what I mean?
And it was dissimilar to the AJ match from a year ago because he wasn't like selling for Brian the way he was, I think, in the beginning. The beginning, like 10 minutes of this match, it was just like the crowd started to boo.
Yeah.
Things started to go south. And I think it was by design.
Right.
Because then all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan kicks Brock Lesnar in the balls and the match completely changes.
Yep.
So, and then Brock's selling for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Daniel Bryan's hitting a ton of different offense, going crazy, double knees, jump missile drop kicks off the top rope. There's just a bunch of offense he hit.
Yeah,
boom,
we
boom,
thought
boom,
he
boom,
was going to win.
It looked like
done.
he was going to slay the beast. I thought when he had him in the yes lock in the middle of the ring, and Brock, you could like, Brock's eyes like had like the panic look. Like he looked like legit worried, right? That he was about to get beat. Yeah, and I was like, he's going to tap. And then he picks him up and turns one of his submission holds into an F5. 1, 2, 3.
Done.
Brock retains, and then the crowd just boos.
They did such a good job of like everyone hated it, and then it popped real hard, and then they just sort of let it frickin' fizzle out.
They didn't stick the landing.
No,
sticking the landing is.
And I will.
If
you had Bryan
Daniel Bryan taps out Brock Lesnar, that's what you let happen.
But it would have built Bryan too strong. And it's not that he can't be, but
he needed it.
This is the thing. Everyone made it sound like, and I only you listen to way more of the what's going on in the background, but this was just kind of had to happen. So
right.
Why would you have Bryan win a match that you didn't build for a long time to make epic? It would just kind of be like a weird one
but
shot.
It'd be more surprising. I think
it
would be more,
sure.
It'd be more surprising. It'd build Bryan, because Bryan hasn't had the luster since he came back that he had before he left, right?
Right. But the crowd's totally into him. They're waiting for him to do it.
They were booing a little bit because he kind of turned, he turned heel or diddler on SmackDown on Tuesday night when he kicked AJ in the balls. A lot of people getting kicked in the testicles lately. Poor AJ, because think about the Shinsuke Nakamura battle, like around WrestleMania time, and after that, wasn't that pretty much all built around Shinsuke just continually kicking him in the testicles or hitting him? Just
low blows.
Yeah, low blows, and then Bryan wins with the low blow. I mean, honestly, at this point, AJ Styles, get a cup.
Hey,
what are you doing, man?
He's already got 4 kids. He ain't looking for number 5, so he's fine.
He's just he's allowing it to happen.
He's like, got to do what you got to do, guys.
I don't want to get a vasectomy. I'll just let other wrestlers keep kicking me in the junk and hitting me in the junk.
Yes.
All right, I'm with it. So my match of the night was Ronda versus Charlotte, just for the shock value, the way that everybody looked so good.
Yeah.
That was by far match of the night for me.
I mean, I didn't see
Shinsuke.
Right. So it's hard for me to be like,
okay,
fair,
out of the matches you saw.
But out of the matches I saw, that's the one I would pick match of the night.
You only saw
sure.
like 4 matches. NXT TakeOver was better. NXT TakeOver only had 4 matches. I'm not even going to count Matt Riddle beating Cassius Ohno in like 20 seconds, but let me break it down for you. Shayna Baszler retains her title in a best 2 out of 3 falls with Kairi Sane, which was super good because the 4 horsewomen of MMA are getting involved in NXT.
Yep.
So it's just a matter of time before we have that. Maybe Survivor Series next year. I could totally see it. But second match of the night was Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. Aleister Black wins with 2 black mass kicks to Johnny Gargano's head. And he said he's absolved of his sins before he kicked him the second time, which I thought was just a really nice touch because Johnny Gargano attacked Aleister Black before it was the kayfabe, like he injured his groin. He had to drop out of the match before NXT TakeOver last time. Somebody attacked him in the parking lot was the storyline. It turned out to be Johnny wrestling like the good guy of good guys. So # Johnny did nothing wrong. That was trending. It was dope. But then you had Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. Tommaso Ciampa retains in a heck of a battle. Velveteen Dream came out as Hollywood Hogan, NWO black and white Hogan. It was amazing. Then you had the War Games match, which had the War Raiders, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne versus the Undisputed Era. So Bobby Fish is back, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and of course Adam Cole, baby. That was by far the match of the night. Ricochet did a double moonsault off the top of the War Games cage onto the other 7 competitors. There was just a spot where he jumped from one rope to one rope and then into a flip and then got kicked in like super kicked while he was flipping. Right. Just insane. Go watch NXT Takeover. A++ for me. What's your grade for Survivor Series?
It's been a while, so I'm gonna say B.
It's been a while. I was thinking B. I was thinking solid
bad.
B. Yeah.
I missed probably one of the better matches, so my grade. But I also missed probably some of the.
I'll probably say B+. If you take in the Ronda Rousey Charlotte thing, you take in the Shinsuke match, you take in how Daniel Bryan Brock Lesnar started versus how it got in the middle versus how it ended. I'll give it a B+. I'll actually jump it up a grade to a B+. Let me know what you think. Tell us what you thought about the whole weekend of the big 4 weekends. The next one is Royal Rumble, January. Not even that far away. Maybe we'll be back for that one. Who knows? Anything is possible. Until the next time, you know what to do. You know where to do it. Stuff like that. I say all that all the time. Brian, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Deuces.